Okay, good evening, everyone. How are you doing today? Good evening, online. Good evening. Okay, nice. Okay, let's jump on. What did we discuss in our last class? S3, right? And we discussed about the S3 in detail, right? And then we discussed about the versioning. Do you remember versioning? So can we say versioning is like a backup tool? Yes. And then by default, versioning is enabled. By default, versioning is enabled? No. By default, versioning is not enabled. So if required, we can enable it. And versioning is enabled on the bucket level or object level? Bucket level, but applied on object level. So how many times you upload the object, those many versions will be created, correct? And also, if you delete the object, so what marker is, delete marker is marked. So if you want to restore, what you need to do? Delete that delete marker and then it will get restored automatically. Okay. And then anytime we can go and disable the versioning also. Version disable or suspend? Suspend. And then we discuss about uh, uh, so we discuss about the bucket limits. I mean S3 limits. So what is the default? What is the minimum object size? 0 bytes. What is the maximum object size? 5 terabyte. In single put, 5 GB. So if you want to upload a big huge object, so you need to break it. So what feature is that? MPU. What is MPU? Multi-part upload. Then we discuss about the storage classes. So there are different storage classes. Do you remember? Can you list down? Number one, standard frequently access, standard infrequently access, reduced redundancy storage, one zone IA, intelligent tire, glacier, Jeep glacier. So which one is the default? Which one is the default one? Standard frequently access is the default one. And in glacier, what do we create? Vaults. What do we create? Vaults. So what does the vault contain? Archives. What is the size of the archive maximum? What? 40 TB. How much? 40 terabytes. Good. And is it possible to move the object from one storage class to another storage class? Using what? Lifecycle management. What is that? Lifecycle management. So with lifecycle management, we can move the object from one storage class to another storage class. There, what do we need to create? We need to create lifecycle rules. What do we create? Lifecycle rules. So that is what we have discussed in our last class. So let us move on to today's topic. Online, can please confirm? Can you see my screen and can you hear me well? Okay. Nice. So little bit quick info on this life cycle management. So if you take the life cycle management here, life cycle management, life cycle management. So in life cycle management, we create what? Life cycle rules. What do we create? Life cycle rules. So what is life cycle management? If you want to move the objects from one storage class to another storage class. So basically, let's say if we have a data and you're not using it, is it good to keep it infrequently accessed? No, move it to infrequently. No. So then in infrequently, monthly once also you're not accessing it. Then move it to Glacier, no? Or move it to one zone, move it to RRS, move to whichever you want, you can move it. So is it possible to move manually? No. So we have these lifecycle rules. If you configure it, so automatically based on the configuration, based on the day, if you create a rule and you say that after 30th day, what is the minimum duration for a standard infrequently? 30 days, no? Minimum size? Object size 128 KB. So, hey, thank you, Arun. Thank you for the feedback. Okay. So, yeah. So life cycle rules. So it is possible to move the objects from one storage class to another storage class. So for that, what we need to create is we need to create rules. What we need to create? Rules. And while you're creating the rules, you can create the rule for your entire bucket, or you can create the rules for a prefix also. What is prefix? Subfolder. What is prefix? Subfolder. So you can set the rule for the whole bucket also. You can set the rule for a subfolder also. Subfolder is called it as here prefix. So let's say, for example, I'm saying, now you have uploaded the object. After 30th day, automatically my object should be moved to infrequently access. Huh? Is it possible to move less than 30 days? No, because minimum duration is 30 days. So after 30th day, automatically we move to the infrequently. And then I want to move it to Glacier. In Glacier, how many days minimum? 90 days. So 30 days already done. So how many days left? 60 days. So next 60 days, it will go to Glacier automatically. After moving to Glacier, then I decided that I don't want this object at all. Then I can go and not me, this LCM will go and delete that object. So basically in lifecycle management, you have two actions. How many actions? Two actions. Number one, we call it as transition. What is that? And second one, we call it as expiration. What is that? Transition, expiration. What is that? Transition, expiration. Transition meaning moving the object from one class to another class. That is called transition. Expiration meaning delete it. Getting it? So you can create these rules for your current version also, and you can create the rules for your non-current version also. Yes or no? Current version, versions, previous versions also. Current version, non-current versions. Understood? So LCM you can create for current versions, also for non-current versions. So can I say LCM can be applied? And by the way, whatever the features that we are learning in S3, everything is created on the bucket level. On the bucket level, but will be applied on the object level. LCM also you need to create on the bucket level only, no? But it will be applied on the object level. So in LCM, there are two actions. What are those? Transition and expiration. Can you do this transition and expiration for your current versions and non-current versions also? Yes. So LCM is created on bucket level, but applied on object level. So there are two actions. What are those, Nana? Transition and expiration. So assume I have uploaded my object in frequently access. After 30th day, I want to move it to infrequently access. How many days? 30 days. Next, then I want to move it to Glacier. How many days? 60 days. What is this called? Transition. What is this called? Transition. This is called transition. And then that meaning, Nana, see here, Chitti, 0th day, it will be uploaded to FA. 30th day, it will be moved to IA. And totally 90th day, it will move to Glacier. So this is called transition. And then we can say that delete it after 365 days. What is this called? Expiration. This is called expiration. It's called expiration. So can you set up your S3 features for your entire packet also? You can set up this S3 feature for the prefix also. Agree? you can set up S3 features for entire bucket or for a what is prefix now? Prefix meaning subfolder. Is this clear? Clear? And Chidi, in S3, there are small features are there. There are so many features, but small features. Okay. Is it clear online on LCM, lifecycle management? Super. Now, assume that I have a bucket, Nana. What is that? I have a bucket and my bucket name is called movies. What is it? Movies. So I have assume that I have lot of movies here. Assume that I have lot of movies. Assume that I have lot of movies. So now I want to know who is accessing my bucket because I have movies inside. No, I want to know who is accessing the bucket. So for this, you can enable something called logs. What is that? Who is accessing my bucket? We can easily identify. For that, you need to enable the logs. And the logs, we call it as server access logs. What is that? Server access logs. Understood? This is okay. For these logs, you tell me, is it good to have the logs in the same bucket or is it good to create a separate bucket for the logs? Okay, it's up to you. You can create a separate bucket if required, and you can put all the logs inside it and give the name called movie access logs. Movie access logs. So this will say who is accessing your bucket. You will get to know. So can I say server access logs are bucket level? Yes or no? It is on the bucket level. It is on the bucket level. And if you want to see this one, logs is for the bucket. That means who is accessing my bucket. But if you want to know who is accessing your object, that is called object level logging. What is that? Object level logging. This one I'm talking about server access log. That meaning bucket level logs. Here I'm talking about the bucket level logs, but you can enable the object level logs also. You can enable object level logs. Can you tell me who is accessing my object, who created, who deleted, who modified? Everything will be recorded where? CloudTrail, no? Excellent. So now this object level logs can be tracked in where? CloudTrail. Certification question. Object level logs can be tracked in the CloudTrail. Clear? Hmm? And small options are there, like something called object lock. What is that? What is that? No? Object lock. If you lock the object, what will happen? Yeah. You cannot modify, you cannot delete, you cannot do nothing. So like that's also nasty features are there. So you create an object and then you create a bucket and then you can lock the object. So no one can modify it, no one can delete it, no one can do anything. So object locks, you can lock it permanently and you can lock it certain period of time. Yes, Nitish. That is called what? Object lock. See here today, we have the logs here, no? Server access logs. That logs are readable format. Generally, if you go to the logs, few logs will be, there are no commas, no separate, nothing, everything in a single line. Is it possible to you to read it? Maybe you can read 1 or 2, 3 lines. If you have millions of lines of logs, is it possible to identify? Let's say as a manager, I'll tell you, hey, yesterday at this time, at that bucket, at that object, someone access, tell me who is that. Is it possible to go and check in the logs? You need to check in the logs, but is it possible to manually do it? No, because it will be like this. I am giving an example like this, and 5:30 a.m. bucket puppy.jpg get, and then success 200. So like this, it will be like this. This is a sample log I just wrote. You can read this maybe little bit hardly. You can read it 1, 2, 3 lines. You can read it, but are you interested to read the log like this? So what the developers will do, there is a service separately for developers, and the service name is called Athena. What's that? Not Antenna. Okay. Antenna. Vilaite. Okay. So this is called Athena. What's that? Athena is a developer service. What this Athena will do it will analyze the logs directly from S3. It will analyze, I'll write it here, analyze the logs directly from S3. Athena. Directly from S3. How? See, what these developers will do is, I'm just giving additional information, okay? They'll create a table in Athena. They'll create a table. They'll create a table. Arun, correct. They'll create a table and they'll create a columns inside it. Example I'm giving. So here, what is the first thing here? IP address. Next is the source, maybe destination. Next here is which object is accessing, which method it is accessing, what the status, what's the time, timestamp, everything, columns will be created. And what will happen is these logs will be added as a rows here. And developers will write SQL queries. Do you know SQL queries? Heard about it, SQL queries? So developers will write SQL queries and retrieve whatever the data that they need. Is it clear? Understood? Online, is it clear, Nana? So what did we discuss? What are the concepts that we have discussed in the Paint? Tell me. Lifecycle management, server access logs, object log, object level logging, Athena. Okay. So Nitish, this Athena is another service separately, not from S3. It's a separate service from AWS. So what using this Athena will connect directly to your S3 buckets. If you have any logs, that logs will be pulled as a rows inside this Athena table. And then you can write an SQL queries to retrieve the data based on your requirement. That is Athena. Okay. Nice. Okay. So today I am giving you extra topic. It's a developer related topic, but I hope you can also understand because we need to discuss everything, right? Not only S3, anything. So we have the developer topic called CORS. What is that? Cross origin resource sharing. What is that? Say that. Cross origin resource sharing. Listen this carefully. Please see that, stare it. What the name clearly says. What is that? Cross origin. So that meaning, assume that you have multiple origins. Multiple origins meaning multiple buckets, 2 different buckets. So we have 2 origins. Resources sharing. Resources meaning what here? Objects. You understand now? Cross origin Resources sharing. How actually this work in real time, I'll show you. So please try to concentrate. Very important. Assume that I have created a bucket, Nana. Assume that I have created a bucket and my bucket name is cards bucket 1. What's that? And then can I upload index.html inside it? Does our S3 support static website hosting? Okay. So now I'll upload index.html. Can I open it in the browser? As it supports static website hosting, once I enable it, S3 will give the URL. If I put the URL in the browser, my HTML page will open or not? Yes. Okay, now you have index.html. And also, I have uploaded another object called puppy.jpg in the same bucket. Where bucket? Same bucket. I'm uploaded, listen this. I uploaded puppy.jpg also in the same bucket. Now, how many objects are there in the same bucket? 2 objects are. Okay, now tell me, Chitty, can I call puppy.jpg? Do you know HTML language? Just you don't know, no problem. But developers know HTML. So what they do is, can you call puppy.jpg inside index.html as an image? You have Amazon.in, no? Shopping. You see all the images? So all these images will be stored in one place. And using the URL, they will call in the page. So here, assume puppy.jpg is calling in the index.html. So puppy.jpg also have an endpoint, object URL. Every object will be having what? Object URL. I told you no yesterday. So every object, if you want to call the object, you need to have the URL. Okay, how does the URL look like? https:// tell me. Cards bucket 1 dot s3 dot ap minus south minus 1 dot amazon aws.com/ puppy.jpg. So can I call this URL in index.html? No. Can I call this here in index.html? Okay. Now if I open index.html, I will see the content of index.html plus I'll see the puppy. Yes or no? Everyone, yes or no? So now I'm opening here browser. I open the browser. So this is the browser. And here I opened index.html. If I open index.html, whatever the content is there, index.html also will work. And also, can I see my puppy there? Can I see puppy? Image? Yes or no? Okay. Puppy. Okay. So you see the index.html page also. Inside the index.html, you see the puppy because you can see it puppy because the 2 objects are in the same bucket. The 2 objects are in the same bucket. Is it clear? So this will work as usual correctly. This will work or not? Yes, this will work. Is this clear? Everyone, online, is this clear, Nana? This is clear. This point is clear. Everyone, okay. So what I did, I created a bucket. I enabled static website hosting. And in index.html, I'm calling puppy.jpg. If I open index.html, I'll see the puppy here. Okay. Now? So now what I do, clearly concentrate. I created another bucket called cards bucket 2. And here I'll upload puppy.jpg now. Here I upload puppy.jpg. And this puppy.jpg also have the URL or not? But here it is. Now see carefully. Can I call this puppy.jpg inside this HTML? Instead of calling from the local, instead of calling from the same bucket, I'm calling from the another bucket using this URL. This is another scenario. First scenario, the puppy.jpg is in the same bucket. Now in the second scenario, the puppy.jpg is in the another bucket. So I'm calling this puppy.jpg, which is in another bucket in the index.html. Now tell me, will this work or not? Generally, it will not work because this is one origin. This is another origin. This is one origin and this is another origin. Cross origin resources are not sharing. This is one origin and this is another origin. Resources are sharing by default? No, because if I call puppy.jpg in index.html, I cannot see the puppy here. Can I see the puppy here? Can I see the puppy? No. Because CORS is not enabled. Because what? CORS is not enabled. So you need to enable the CORS. Now tell me in which bucket you need to enable the CORS. Bucket 1 na bucket 2 a? Excellent. Bucket 2. So what you need to do is you need to go to bucket 2 and enable CORS. This CORS is small, some JSON script is there. So it is in internet, it is in the documentation. So we'll copy paste this CORS JSON script in this bucket. And then you are giving permission to which origin? CORS bucket 1. You can give to CORS bucket 1. You can give permissions to access to CORS bucket 1, or you can give star. You can give what? Star. If you give star, what will happen? For all but. So this is code is in which format? In the JSON format. So basically, these developers, what they do is they will be calling the objects from different buckets in general in real time. But all of a sudden, sometimes they will get this CORS issue and they will come to you and ask, hey, AWS engineer, I am getting this kind of some buckets, some objects I'm able to see, some images I cannot see. Please help. So as you saw, a few images are not working. If you see the error and you see there is a CORS is not enabled. So what you need to go ahead and enable the CORS in the bucket where the objects are not showing you. That is called CORS. But if you keep the second bucket image access URL as a resource in HTML, it will not read. It will not read. That is what Nitish I'm saying. From the other bucket, it cannot read unless you enable the CORS. This is the URL. That's what that is the thing that I said. If you put this URL here, this will not work by default because cross origin resource sharing is not enabled. So the error is CORS is blocked. What is that? CORS is blocked. So if you get this error, if you see this error, then you need to enable the CORS. Error is CORS is blocked. This is one of the real-time error that you get, and you need to resolve this like this, enabling the CORS. Is it clear, this topic? Online, is it clear, Nana? Small topics. Small topics in S3. Okay, now we have something called CRR, cross-region replication. What is that? Cross-region replication, and I call it as SRR, same region replication. So two things now. We have what? CRR, SRR. The name clearly says, what is that? Cross-region replication. What is replication meaning? Duplicate. Whatever you have the data on bucket 1, the same data will be available into the bucket 2. If you put any file in bucket 1, the same file will be available into the bucket 2 automatically if you go and enable the CRR. If the two buckets are in two different regions, we call it as CRR. If the two buckets are in the same region, call SRR. Example. See, small topics. So I have a bucket in Mumbai. I have a bucket in Mumbai. And there is another bucket here in another region, let's say Ireland or Tokyo, whichever it is. So you have the two buckets. You have two buckets. You can call any name. Assume now I have uploaded index.html here. I have uploaded index.html. Now, can you tell me this index.html replicated automatically here now? It will not. So what you need to create? You need to create a CRR rule. What you need to create? CRR rule. Where you need to create? Source or destination? Source. Source, no. Mumbai bucket is the source. Destination will be the Ireland bucket. Yes or no? So where you need to create the CRR rule? In Mumbai bucket. In Mumbai bucket. So here, assume that here I created a CRR rule. While creating a CRR rule, I'll select the source is this Mumbai bucket and the destination is my Ireland bucket. So now I created a CRR rule and now I upload some file, puppy.jpg. Now tell me, which one will get replicated? Which one will get replicated? Puppy.jpg will get replicated. Index.html will be replicated? No, because index.html was created before the CRR rule. So the replication will be happening. CRR replication. And by the way, guys, puppy.jpg will get replicated. So when you're creating a CRR rule, if you have any existing objects, when you're creating a CRR rule for a bucket, if you have an existing object, after creating a CRR rule, it will ask, hey Babu, in this bucket, there are already existing objects are there. Do you want to replicate that also? Neatly, S3 will ask that question to you. If you say yes, then automatically index.html will also get replicated. Existing objects will also get replicated. If you say no, it will not replicate. So assume I have only index.html. If you have 10,000 objects inside it, it will take time to replicate or not. For this S3 will create something called one-time batch operation. What is that? One-time batch operation. So automatically one-time batch operation will be get created. And that batch operation, what will happen is it will take all the objects and will start replicating to the destination bucket. Chitty, okay. Can you create by default the CRR rule is enabled? No. So, and the CRR is created on the bucket level or object level? Bucket level. And remember, in order to have the CRR to work or SRR to work, versioning is mandatory. We need to enable what? Versioning. Versioning by default enabled. So we need to enable the versioning for the bucket, mandatory. And another good thing is the destination bucket can be in the same account also or in the other account also. In the other account also. So it can be the same account or it can be another account. You're getting it? Is it clear? So now if I have a bucket here, so there's a bucket here and my bucket, this bucket is in Mumbai. And if you are replicating this to, what is this called? And if you're replicating like this, what is this called? CRR, SRR? SRR. Simple. And this CRR, SRR can be enabled for your entire bucket also or for your prefix also. That meaning subfolder also. So versioning is mandatory or not? Yes, CRR is not enabled by default. CRR or SRR is enabled on bucket level. Versioning is mandatory to have CRR or SRR. Existing objects can also be replicated at the time of creating CRR rule with batch operation. Clear enough? So CRR across AWS accounts are also possible. Possible? In the same account also it's possible. Another account also is possible. Is it clear, Nana? And S3 pricing. Generally, your Google Drive price, Google Drive is there, no? And if you want to pay Google Drive, one second. Okay. So see, this S3 costing will depend upon, S3 costing is depend upon the size of the bucket and how much data that you're transferring. So AWS will charge you based on how much size that you're putting in S3 bucket and also how much data transfer, upload, download is happening. So please keep that in mind, in certification. S3 costs depend upon the size of the bucket and data transfer. Clear? Online is this clear? Super. Is it clear, guys? Everyone? So what topic we have discussed here? Can we get the tariffs from AWS console? There is no tariffs for this. It's not a prepaid, no, to get the tar. How much data that you are using, that much. Ah, it's not fixed pricing, no. For EC2, it is fixed pricing. For instance type, it's fixed price. But for S3, it is not about fixed price. But if you, I'll show you on, I'll show how to find out the pricing also. Don't worry. Did I told you about AWS estimates? No. Okay. Yeah. Okay. The next important thing here is we are talking about is encryption. What is it, Nana? Encryption. Guys, give me a second. I'm getting an urgent call. Okay. Can you hear me online? Are you with me? Okay. Fantastic. Sorry, there was an urgent call. Okay. So we are talking about the encryption. What is that? Encryption. Why do we need encryption, first of all? For security purpose. So encryption is for what? Security purpose. As we are keeping a lot of data in S3, we need to make sure that it should be secure or not. It should be secure. How do we secure it? By enabling encryption. In EC2 also, remember for volumes also we did encryptions and all. Encryption keys are stored where? Huh? Where do you store encryption keys? KMS, remember? Key Management Service. Okay, before I go deeper into the encryption, basically, in general, encryption can be done in two ways. Encryption can be done in two ways. Number one, we call it as in-transit encryption. What is that? In-transit encryption. Number two, data at rest. What is that? What is the meaning of in-transit? While it is traveling. In-transit meaning where it is traveling. So in-transit meaning where it is traveling. So when the data is moving or when the data is traveling, we can encrypt it. So do you remember, can we encrypt it using HTTPS? Yes or no? So in-transit encryption can be done using HTTPS. And the second one, what we have is data at rest. So data at rest meaning where data is just simply sitting, like in S3, like in EBS volumes, like in RDS, like in EFS, where the data is just sitting. So you can do the encryption on top of that sitting the data using what concept? Data at rest concept, using KMS. And where do you create HTTPS certificates? Which service in AWS? ACM. Which one? Super. ACM. In-transit encryption can be done using HTTPS through ACM, and data at rest encryption can be done using KMS. Understood? These two things. So I'll start writing this. Encryption can be done in two ways. Encryption can be done in two ways. What are those? Number one, in-transit encryption. Encryption while data is moving. Give me a second, guys. I'll come back. 1 minute, please. Okay, sorry for that. So there are two types of encryption, Chiti. What are those? In transit encryption, encryption while data is moving or transferring. How do you do it? Using HTTPS. Using HTTPS. And what is the another one? Data at rest. So encryption while data is at rest. How do you do it? Using what? KMS. Using KMS. So this one you can do it using what? Using ACM. Is it clear? Is it clear? Two ways of doing it. So ACM. ACM is a where you can create HTTPS certificates and you can do in-transit encryption. KMS is a service where you can create encryption keys for data at rest. They're two important. I'll write it here for you. ACM is where you create HTTPS certificates and use for in-transit encryption. And whereas KMS is where you can create encryption keys and use for data at rest encryption. Clear, Nana? Nice. That is in general encryption. Not only in S3, anywhere you take it, encryption can be done in two ways, either in transit or data at rest. That is normally. So let's coming to S3. So Amazon S3 has three types of encryption. How many types of encryption? Three types of encryption. So number one, we call it as server-side encryption. Number two, we call it as client-side encryption. Number three, we call it as, again, in-transit encryption. So now in-transit encryption can be done using what? HTTPS. Client-side encryption, meaning who should take care of this? Client only, no? So should be handled by customer. Whatever the data that you're going to S3, that data has to be encrypted by the customer only. But mainly here we need to talk about server-side encryption. In shortcut, I call it as SSE. What is that? What is SSE meaning? Server-side encryption. So server-side encryption, basically we have three types, Nana. SSE S3, SSE KMS, SSE C. And also newly forgot. Okay, that was a new one. I'll show you in the lab. Okay, so now how many server-side encryptions are there? Three types. What are those? SSE S3, SSE KMS, SSE C. Okay, so basically out of this, do you remember if you want to encrypt from KMS, you already have AWS/EBS, AWS/S3, AWS/RDS. The default key is there, no? So that is SSE S3, which is AWS managed key. AWS managed key. Here also S3 is providing a default key called AWS/S3. 99% maximum people will go for SSE S3. Which one? SSE S3, which is AWS managed key. And if you want to create your own key, create it from KMS, AWS KMS key. And also C meaning customer provided key. Customer provided keys. Is it clear? Out of this, which one is the most commonly used? This guy, SSE S3. And guy, and this uses an algorithm called AES 256. What is it? algorithm. What is the algorithm? Encryption algorithm that S3 is using? AES-250. That is a certification question. Advanced encryption standard. What is it? Advanced encryption standard. The full form of AES is Advanced Encryption Standard. Which bit? 256 bit. Is it clear? So, and by the way, whenever you're creating an S3 bucket, by default, these buckets are encrypted. Very important certification question. That too, SSC S3. So by default, buckets are, yes, by default, buckets are encrypted. Now clear on the encryption? Clear? Online, is this clear? Yes, shall we? Good. Yeah. So which is the most common key that we use? SSC S3. So yeah, no problem. Okay, Nana. So now we have a topic here. I would say it is a worst topic. You can download through CLI, Ibrahim. That we'll discuss. This is the worst topic. Why I'm saying is S3 data consistency model. Say that. Actually, we know that, but he is giving in the form of certification question in different language. I'll tell you. Basically, there are two types. Data consistency model. In S3, there are two types of data consistency models. How many types? Two types. Listen this carefully. I created a bucket. Listen this carefully. I created a bucket. Now you tell me, first I'll write a and then read a, or read or write a. First we will write and then read. Can I say read after write? Huh? Read after write? You cannot say. Here only you will get confused. Read after write. Correct or wrong? Correct. No, what you just said now. Wrong. Yes or no? I said read after it. What you said? No, no, sir, wrong. Correct? Actually, that is correct. What is that concept here? Read after write. That is why I call it as worst topic. So now, whenever, this is a word play. Correct, exactly. Good word, Nitish. So read after write. Whenever you are, let's say now I am putting index.html here. Uploading is nothing but put. I'm putting a new object here. Putting a new object. Now I'm framing the sentence and see. Read after write of puts of new objects. I'll write here and you read. First I'm writing. Okay. Read after write for puts of new objects. See here. This is a certification question. Read that. Read after write consistency. I need to write consistency for puts of new objects. Do you understand this word? Generally, we do that every day. First you write it and then we read it. First we are uploading is nothing but puts only, no? Put of new object. But the line is like this. Read after write consistency for puts of new objects. Now, is this clear? This line is clear? Now assume in index.html, I have a data called ABC. Then I modify it to DEF. In your real life also, in your laptop computer, sometimes if you modify any data for a fraction of a second, you will see the old data only. But if you refresh, you will get new data. Have you experienced that? Yes or no? And also, that meaning if you are overwriting any puts, I'm using the word see, overwriting of puts. Here in index.html, I'm overwriting to def. I'm overwriting of puts. Say that. Overwriting of puts. If you overwrite of puts, sometimes you will get the old data ABC. If you refresh it, you will get the new data. That meaning eventually, it is eventually meaning what? Dhire dhire se. Eventually meaning dhire dhire se. So dhire se, that means slowly, right? Slowly it will get updated. Whenever I overwrite some puts, I will see the same old data, but eventually it will move to the new data. I'll see the new data. And for deletes also, whenever you delete, sometimes you'll still see the data, but if you refresh, the page is gone. So that meaning, now I'm framing the line. Eventually consistency for overrides of puts and deletes. Agree? I'm writing it here. Eventually consistency for overrides of puts and deletes. That is why I call it as worst topic. That's why I said you need to believe me all the time. But you understand Pakka certification question. So what they do is here, put meaning upload, Nitish, or update. So here, they will play with these words. They will remove puts here. They will say delete, or they will delete here. They will manage, they will misplace the words. So in certification, you need to clearly answer your question. So let's say there are two types of, how many types of consistency models are there? Two types. What are those? See me. I'll teach you. Read after write, consistency of puts of new objects. Say that. Read after write, consistency for puts of new objects. That meaning, whenever you put any new object, first you are writing it and then reading it. Second one, eventually consistency for overrides of puts and deletes. Whenever you overwrite any object and delete it, it will be eventually, it will be showing it for you. Understood now? So these are the two consistency models that S3 has. Please keep that in mind. Online, is it clear now? Okay. So quickly here, there is a bucket here. Okay, tell me, which is the movie that you're waiting for, which is not released? KGF 3 is coming. Oh, Oja. Pushpa 2. Oh, I'll take Pushpa 2. Okay, Pushpa 2. Trailer released, No, I see. Okay, assume that there is some movie which you have. What you need to assume is, assume I have a bucket and I have Pushpa 2 trailer with me. Because I am the crew member of Pushpa 2. Assume I have a Pushpa 2 trailer. I want to give this trailer to my friends, especially for my offline students. I mean, online also. So, right. So, I want to show you this trailer. So, for group of people, only for, let's say, 10, 20 people. But I have, for 10, 20 people, I need to give permission to the bucket in order to access, correct? But in order not to, I don't want to give access to the bucket. But what I do is, Pushpa 2 has object URL here for this. Pushpa, this is an object, no? Pushpa 2 has a object URL. What I do, there is a concept called pre-signed URL. What is that? What is that? Pre-signed URL. What is the concept? Pre-signed URL. Pre-signed URL meaning you will be generating a temporary URL, which is valid only for how much time that you have mentioned. It is valid only for that time. But what I do is, for Pushpa 2, I'll generate one endpoint, which is valid only for 5 minutes. Then I'll give this URL to everyone. Everyone will access, and this URL will be valid for how much time? Only 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, expire. So if you want like this, to generate a temporary URLs, not only for Pushpa 2, any kind of object, If you want to share it to others, then you can use this pre-signed URL. What concept is that? Pre-signed URL. So endpoint is valid for only certain period of time. So example, let's say 5 minutes. Example, 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, what will happen? After 5 minutes, URL expires. So can I say this is for temporary purpose? This is for temporary purpose. Small concepts. Okay. Now, can you tell me a few regions that you know? Ireland, Ohio, what is that? Sydney, Sydney, no, Virginia. Okay, enough. I don't have space. So I have this region. Where are you sitting? That vibe is different in Hyderabad, no? The name itself is having power. Okay, Hyderabad. So now you are sitting in Hyderabad and you want to upload some files to Ireland. You want to upload some file to Ireland S3 bucket. So it will take your normal internet only or not? Let's assume in internet it's taking how much time? 5. But I want to accelerate my transfer. What is the word I'm using? Accelerate my transfer. I want to accelerate my transfer to Ireland bucket. That meaning I want to make it fast. In internet, it is taking 5 minutes, but I want to make it fast, super fast to upload to S3 bucket. For this, there is a feature from S3 called transfer accelerator. So this is billable, not free. If you use transfer accelerator, AWS will upload your data to S3 bucket using CDN. Using what? CDN is what network? AWS internal network. Correct or not? It will be faster or not? Yes, it will be faster upload. So if at all you want to speed up, then go for transfer accelerator. Is it clear, Nana? Online, is this clear? Small thing here. I said it is a very few small features are there in S3. Actually, we will not be using it, but I'm just giving it for extra things for you. There is something called S3 requester pace. What is that? As the name clearly says, who is paying? Requester. Assume that you have a bucket, you have an object. Assume you have Pushpa 2 movie with you. Will you give access to Pushpa 2 movie for free? Now, let's say Ankit has a Pushpa 2 movie and everyone want to access. Who need to pay? Ankit need to pay or customer need to pay? Customer, no. We are the requester, no. So Ankit is the owner of the bucket. Ankit is the owner of the object. But who is paying for this? Customer is paying. Requester is paying. If you want this kind of setup, then go for what concept is that? Amazon requester pays. In generally, bucket owner only will pay that. But if you enable this, requester will pay. How? Requester also need to access the object using S3, using AWS account only. Billing will be happening in the customer's AWS account. That is called here S3 requester pays. Write down. This is not important, but it will be fun. And also this is, we'll not be using it. So here I write for this. In general, bucket owners pay for all S3 storage and data transfer costs associated with their bucket. Okay. With requester pays bucket, the requester instead of the bucket owner pays the cost of the request and the data download from the bucket. Clear? So the requester must be authenticated from AWS account so that charges will be in requester AWS account. Requester cannot be anonymous. You understand a requester base? And here we have, what is that? S3 notifications. What is that? S3 event note. Do you remember? Where have we done this event notifications? CloudWatch, events, Event Bridge. So in Event Bridge, we did EC2. We have selected EC2 service, and then we have saw the EC2 events. And if you want to do such kind of events for S3, we have S3 event notifications. So anything is happening in S3. If you want to receive a notification, you can get it. If someone is uploading, someone is deleting, someone is doing something, anything. If someone is doing anything in S3, you will receive a notification. Understood? And if someone is uploading, if you want to receive notification, which service you need to target? SNS. Remember, the targets in S3, the targets can be 3 services. One is SNS, another is Lambda, another one is SQS certification. In S3 event whenever you want to generate an event notification, the targets can be 3 services. What are those? Fantastic. So targets are SNS, Lambda, and SQS. Simple queue service. What is that? Simple queue service. That is a certification, Ashna. And did we discuss about S3 batch operation? Oh, today only we discussed, no? What is this? One-time batch operation. That is the same as here batch operation. So if you want to if you want to perform bulk operations on existing S3 objects with single request, then go for batch operations. So guys, very good thing is we have covered the entire S3 topic now. But in S3, I want to give, from tomorrow onwards, we'll do the practicals on S3. Before that, there is one topic, but I want to give the topic for your exploring. See, every topic I'm teaching you and we are doing the practicals. But this S3, the topic is called S3 access points. What is it, Nana? S3. What I want you to do is to explore on S3 access point. I can teach. Okay, let's do one thing. I'll tell you what is access point. Practicals, you have to do it. Can you explore it and do it? You need to have that kind of thing. Otherwise, it's very hard because in real time, you'll get new things. So I'll explain the topic. Practicals, except access point, I'll show you everything. I can show access point also, but I don't want to show you that. I want you to do that by exploring it and take the help of mentors. First, you explore it, investigate it, try to do it. If not, check with mentors. Ready? Yeah? So what concept is that? S3 access point. Assume you have a bucket. This is S3 bucket. What is that? Inside that, can you have prefix? Inside that, you have prefixes. Prefixes meaning what? Subfolder. And inside that, you have DevOps subfolder. Inside that, you have developer subfolders. Inside that, you have sales subfolders. Here you have users are there. Which users are there? DevOps users are there. Developer users are there. And sales users are there. My question for you here is, okay, the thing here is DevOps user need to access only DevOps prefix. Developers need to access only developers prefix. Sales people need to access only sales. Sales cannot access DevOps developer. DevOps cannot access developers. Sales like this. Huh? Somehow you understand. So what you need to do for this is you need to write IAM policy for this. What you need to write? IAM policy. So instead of writing IAM policies, you can use a concept called S3 access points. So what you need to do is here, you need to create a access points. You need to create a access point. So for, we call it as DevOps access point, developer access point, sales access point. So just give DevOps access point to DevOps user, developer access point to developer, sales access point to sales. And these access points are attached to the prefixes. Understood? You no need to write the policy also for this. You can simply create an access point and give that access points to the users. They can access only their respective prefixes. This is the concept of access point, but I want to do it through the practicals. You need to do it. I explained the topic. You understood the topic. Instead of writing a big policies, so you can use this access point. So access point simplify security management for S3 buckets. So you can create access point, can be public, that means it works through internet, or private, which work through the VPC. So what I want you to do is with the internet concept, public one, not with the private. Should I ask you one certification question? Last. By default, our buckets are public or private? Private. And the objects are private. For private bucket, objects are private. Okay, now you have created a public bucket. Objects are remember, objects are private, not public. So by default, object nature is private. Even though the bucket is public, still the object is private. If required, you can make that as public. But the by default object nature is private. That is a Pakka certification question. So by default object nature is private. So if you create a private bucket, objects are private. If you create a public bucket, objects are still private. If required, make it public. Clear enough? Congratulations. We are done with S3, in and out. So from tomorrow onwards, we'll do the practicals. So you have a lot of topics now in S3, right? So take the screenshots meanwhile. So we have already crossed 6 minutes. Take it. You're taking mine or second one? Okay. Third. and the last. So guys, from anyways, tomorrow you'll get the task. But from today, what you do is try to explore access point. That is very important. And S3 is access point is not only in S3, it will be in all other services also. But what I want you to do is explore the access point concept. Okay, can you get the final CC for today, please? CC with Smile Online. Great. So that is all, guys, for today. And I'll see you tomorrow with this S3 practicals. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow. Bye.